Welcome to the Wrestling Show, emulating live from the epicenter of awesomeness here in Tampa, Florida. Yes, I am wearing hat and sunglasses inside because that's what cool shooters do. Also, my headset is not plugged in, but headsets are cool, which makes me an official shooter. Alright, question. Should shooters have fun on the IWC, or should we just talk about wrestling and make video responses? Answer, no fun. Okay, so I was going to do a stable video, but talk about stables that had no really impact on the business. X Factor, 3 Live Crew, Low Spur Week was, who else? It was going to be the Cycles of Apocalypse. Stables that no one ever mentions because they really didn't do anything. But, yeah. Then I stumbled upon a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers video. So this video is going to be a rant/review on the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which came out in 93 and I think ran to 95. The original first, season, the first version of Power Rangers, which is just Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I'm sure 3/4 of my audience already knows about them. So, not really going to go into the backstory. I'm just going to go over a typical episode and review and rant over it. Okay, episode starts off, let's say the Power Rangers are at a fair, okay? They're like, la la la, they're all wearing color-coded, outfits, so like, nobody's supposed to know who the Power Rangers are, yet it's always these same 5 kids, 6 I think, if you add the other guy. No, it's 5. Well, it's 6 if you count the green. Anyway. So they're always walking around like, oh, it's the Yellow Ranger, always wearing yellow, always. See, the Black Ranger, it's okay, because not only is he black, he's wearing black clothes, but he can just say he's emo or something. But the other ones, it's like, that's kind of suspicious. It's like, oh, you're always wearing red? We never see you around at the same time as this other dude, but... So yeah, they'll be at a fair, right? Secretly, on the moon, Rita's like, ah! Finster, make me a monster, because she's staring down there, and she sees a cow or whatever. So she's like, oh, you like cows? So she goes to Finster, tells him to make a monster, and he's like, oh, my dear, I got a perfect monster, it's Betsy. He throws it in, like, this cardboard box thing, and it comes out a vacuum tube, and suddenly a monster or something. And then there's 2 annoying blue guys. They don't do anything. I don't even know their names. I didn't even want to look them up, because I forgot them. Yeah, so they're more useless than Jenna Maraska, the Small Wonder robot girl, and that Binya Binya Pollywog guy from Gullah Gullah Island. So yeah, they'll just be like, whatever. Goldar will be like, send me! I can defeat the Power Rangers! And then Rita's like, look, I've already sent you 100 times, you can't do it. What's so hard about just stabbing him? Stab him! Instead of these elaborate sword fights. Or why can't you just go down there, wait till he's sleeping, and smother the Red Ranger with a pillow? But that never happens. So yeah, the monster's made. It's usually a gimmick or themed monster, and since this is a cow, it's going to say things like, oh, move over, Power Rangers, or Power Rangers, you're going to face utter defeat. Ha 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 ha. Because it's a cow, Oh, sometimes before all this takes place, Bulk and Skull, which are the 2 bullies in the series, will show up and be like, oh, we're going to show you guys up. But then they end up in some humiliating circumstance. Since they're at the fair, they'll probably fall in horse poop or something. Okay, and then maybe before the monster gets sent down, here comes the putties. So usually it's like Kimberly, and she's like, oh my goodness, putties. And then Tommy's like, I'll take care of them. And then, they punch around, and it's always on a playground or something. And no one ever calls the cops or the National Guard, and no one thinks it's weird that every week in this city, putties and monsters show up, but that's besides the fact. Everyone stays there, and it's cool. They just live there. Oh, here comes the monster. The Rangers are like, we're going to fight you. They fight the cow, for a while, sparks fly, which is kind of weird, because they're wearing skin-tight uniforms, so it's like, where are these sparks coming from? Are they just from friction? Or what? Like, if the suits were thicker, I'd think, oh, it's, taking out computer parts, circuitry, whatever. So yeah, they get sparkly all the time. They might get defeated, the first time. Then they go back to Zordon, which is somewhere on Earth. And they're like, oh, Zordon, we gotta defeat the monsters. And Alpha's like, ay, 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 ay. And Zordon's like, aha, well, we forgot to tell you that we have this even stronger weapon. We should have gave it to you earlier. They got the stronger weapon. They go back. They fight the monster. It explodes. And then Rita's like, ah, this monster is incompetent. But if I throw my wand, which somehow always ends up in the exact same spot, disregarding the fact that the Earth rotates and the Moon rotates and stuff. But it always falls in the center of Angel Grove. The monster gets bigger, and the Ranger's like, oh no, man, we should have really killed it before. You know, so when it grows big, so they call out the Zords. The Zords come out of like volcanoes and stuff, which is weird because I'm pretty sure Angel Grove is in California, and I don't think there's any volcanoes in California. I could be wrong. So yeah, all these Zords come out, trample the city and like everything in the highways, and it's like every week apparently these huge, you know, like 100-story Zords show up and destroy the city along with the monster that's destroying cities. You know, the monster will do its gimmicky themed attacks, you know, shoot milk from its udders or whatever, it's a cow. And, you know, the Zord will get attacked. Which, by the way, did you know those Zords were taken from like a Japanese series like Super Sentai or whatever? Pretty much all those battle scenes that show Zords are stolen from Japanese TV series. But anyway, you know, they'll all fall apart. Oh, did I mention all these weird robots that they have are dinosaurs? They all come together after trampling the city, of course. They all come together, somehow, sort of. The monster explodes again, and then Rita's like, oh, I got such a headache. And Goldar's like, oh, if you would have said me. And then Rita's like, shut up. And then the two useless monsters in the corner are like, oh, yeah. They're two stupid little blue guys that are useless. And Goldar's like, rah, 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 I could defeat the Power Rangers. And then, they maybe go back to the command center. Zordon's like, good job. And they morph around. Color-coded, mind you, because they're little wristwatches. So I'm wondering, like if they switch those little wristwatches, if, like, the Black Ranger would teleport yellow. Because they always teleport whatever color they are. You know, instead of being invisible, because that doesn't give it away. Big yellow streak or black streak or whatever color you are, streaking across the sky. They'll go back to Angel Grove and laugh, haha, Bulk and Skull might show up again and get humiliated one more time. And that's about it. Oh, and probably some more putty somewhere too. Overall, I will give the show I'll give it 3.5. There's some inconsistencies in this whole storyline. They obviously are stealing stuff from other shows. They're not too original. It was done in Japan in the 80s. Goldar is a jobber basically. Tommy's overrated, and there's just too many plot holes. I can't just let this fly. So anyway, guys, check out the Power Rangers.